What's up, Boutique Hotel Nation? Thanks for joining us again for another episode of the unofficial Boutique Hotel Secrets podcast. My name is Adam Walls. Pleasure joining you here today. We're exploring different stories, lessons learned, all the sauce on making this jump from the short-term rental space into the commercial boutique hospitality space. Thank goodness it's not just me. So let me bring in my mister from another sister, Micah Thomas. Micah, what's up, man?
How you doing? How you doing? Earlier today I was thinking, I was like, this life is really, the hotel life is really one of ups and downs. And I don't know if this is just acquisitions or just like the entire world, but we have gone through some really big wins and some really big losses. I feel like I'm a broken record at this point, but it's so exciting. And I just, I'm happy to be in this game, and otherwise I'm doing good. But I just wanted to bring that up, that there's
Yeah.
so many ups and downs that it just makes me grateful to be a part and be kind of taking on such a big project.
Exactly. Do you want to real quick just touch on a little term sheet that hit our inbox yesterday? That was kind of fun.
Yeah, that was probably the best news of the week, and it was only Monday. So we got a term sheet from a bank or a lender, I would say. And this seems like pretty run-of-the-mill stuff, but once you've heard no from 60 plus banks on your deal, getting one term sheet feels like a miracle. So it was definitely a weight lifted off of our shoulder. I don't think we stop here. I think we keep pursuing,
Yep.
have backup plans just in case something falls through, knock on wood. But it was definitely a relief to hear one yes in a world full of no's, or a sea full of no's. And the last thing I'll say is you sent this on Instagram to me a few weeks back, and it was like, if you reshape the way you think from, instead of looking forward to a no or something like that, it's like you're just 5 no's away from the yes you need. So when you approach it from that mindset, you just need to keep pushing until you hear that yes from one person, because it only takes one yes. So just
That's
wanted to
it.
follow up with
I,
that.
no, I love it, man. And you know me, I'm wired for optimism and Mr.
You are
Positivity. I mean, I
all the
literally
time.
lost my job and I was like, it's okay, team. I was like counseling
We're
other
okay.
people.
We're okay.
I don't know if I mean, I definitely do feel grief and depression, like all the lows or whatever, but for whatever reason, I'm wired very optimistically. So again, last week, the week before, pretty tough. We were looking at sub 2 creative finance deals with the seller because he's got a note on the property, but it was at like 2.8. It was like half of what we needed. And then we found out later he'd been talking to the bank the whole time, doing like a deed of trust or any of these like creative things, like it probably wouldn't have worked. So, anyways, if you've been hanging out with us and you listened to the last couple podcasts, we got pretty excited about that. And then all of a sudden, even in that, he was like, yeah, I wouldn't give you the deed. So it's like, well, hang on, we're going to take over your payment. We're going to invest $1 million or $2 million in your property and you still own it. Like, why would we do this? So
How does that make sense?
honestly, I thought we were done. We're recording this just October 14th is today. Our money goes hard October 20th, right? We got 50,000 reasons to say no and walk away today. But I think you and I, based on the news, based on the momentum, we're believing in ourselves and we're pushing forward. And I think that's the name of the game. And again, I'm excited to bring in today. It's not just Mike and Adam today. We got Mr. Vincent Harris. I'll call you that because you may be in a little trouble today, but he goes by Vinny. And let me tell you, you want to talk about optimism, mindset, and again, positive momentum. I couldn't think of a better person to bring on today's show. So again, Vinny, welcome to the show. We met you in Nashville. Again, maybe for people that don't know you and your story, we can just start there. A little bit of story time, a little bit of context. Who are you? How'd you get into real estate? And then we can get into some of the fun stuff here later in the episode.
Sure, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on. And yeah, so I'm Vinny, Columbus, Mississippi. My wife and I started real estate right around COVID. We actually started flipping houses, and we were doing majority of the work ourselves while both working at W-2. It was taking a lot of time. We had a couple small little, base hits along the way. And then we found a house, and we went and looked at it, and I was like, I feel like this would make a good Airbnb. It's like a cute little cottage, 2 bedroom, 1 bath. So we decided to do it. We didn't really know what we were doing, but we threw it together. My wife did a great design on it, and it just started hitting. And then we were like, it was getting addicting. So we were still flipping houses. We were at the time acquiring some long-term rentals as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we were building the long-term rental portfolio, flipping houses, doing the Burr method to acquire some more of our Airbnbs that we had. And so those started coming. We started getting more coming online. And then it just kind of started snowballing. Karen was able to quit her job after 17 years with Boeing last year. Uh,
Amazing. Is that
and
before the doors blew off?
that was before. That's right.
Okay, good. Okay. Reputation was still sterling
It was
when
still
Karen
kind
was
of good
there.
then. So she had quit her job, and was focusing kind of more on just like building our brand and our business.
Yeah.
Um, a year had gone by, which leads us up to now. And we decided, based off of like our long-term rental, some of it's commercial space. And, commercial space, we can force appreciation. We're
Mm-hmm.
not tied to what our single family house is, to the neighbor and whatnot. So we were like, let's start looking into some hotels. And in a sense, it's just, 20 STRs under one roof.
Right.
So I was like, at least I don't have 20 roofs. I don't have, all these extra expenses that I can, keep into the one unit. So we decided to go for hotels. And with that, that's led me into wanting to go in full, bet on myself, go full in onto it, and quit my job as well. And this coming Tuesday, the 16th, is my last day.
I'm
Very,
sorry. Can
very
you
nice.
can you say that again for the people in the back? When are
Yeah,
you quitting your job?
absolutely. October 16th, 2 more working
Ooh.
days.
That is amazing. So big congrats to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Anytime you get to walk away from a corporate job, I feel like that is such a great accomplishment. I want to hit on a few things you said. Just like most other people who got started in the short-term rental space, they started with one, may or may not have known what they were doing, but they learned along the way. It seems like you pretty quickly scaled your short-term rental portfolio, as well as your long-term rentals, and then you decided to make the jump. We say the same thing. It makes more sense to manage 50 or 20 or 30 keys under one roof versus 30 different short-term rentals. You have one set of systems, one set of cleaners, one set of handymen or maintenance teams, so on and so forth. So just that in itself, as well as being able to force the appreciation that you can't necessarily do with a single family home. So, just really wanted to highlight, you kind of making
Mm-hmm.
that acceptance and moving forward. And then I want to transition to how you're again quitting your job in a few days, 2 more working days, and really betting on yourself. So I just want to hear maybe what your mindset is and kind of what you're feeling coming up towards full-time entrepreneurship and really just pursuing your dreams and putting your personal goals first.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been with the company that I'm with now for 19 years, and we're a government
Wow.
contractor. So I work on the Air Force Base. I was prior military. I was Air Force. So for almost 30 years now, I've given service to the Air Force. Um, and yeah, so I was just kind of thinking like it's hard to operate your own business with like one foot in the door. I'm stretching my resources, my time, my abilities between this job, and it's kind of stagnating our company. So um, I kind of like it was not an easy decision.
Yeah.
I went back and forth, even today. Like I kind of go through roller coaster rides, right? Like my mindset goes from I'm so excited, I'm about to be able to do this. I can, go here and expand our brand in this market. I can, go all in on this and kind of bet on myself. Um, but then something will come to me and it's like, am I doing the right thing? Like that comfort that I was so used to of a W-2 income that I've had for, I mean, my whole life. Trying to break that paradigm to realize like it doesn't have to be that way. I can have that time
Mm-hmm.
freedom. I can go in on myself. I can help build our future. So that's kind of where we're at right now. It was not easy.
Well, and maybe we can talk a little bit about some of the helpful advice or advisors that you've had along the way. And by the way, when did you kind of find Mike Sjogren, Short Term Rental Secrets, Boardroom? I know you've gone to a series of events and been around people with really positive mindsets doing really cool and interesting things. So maybe help us walk through kind of how did you meet this group or this tribe and community, and what were some of the helpful things that they said here more recently they gave you confidence, right, to make this jump, make this leap of faith?
Sure. Yeah. So we've kind of, um, I'll say, like, as we all seen Mike initially, it was probably through Instagram or Facebook. So
Mhm.
we had kind of always watched him when we were first starting our journey. And, a little bit of the algorithm throws a little bit of everybody in your space. But the way he approaches business and family and relationships and
Mm.
mindset kind of really drew us in. So we had reached out, I think it was probably May, June, July-ish of
Mhm.
2023, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
Um, and we started STR Secrets. And we have a great coach. Mike McDonald was helping us out. He was really driving Karen because at the time, she was the closest to leaving her job and was
Mhm.
really paving the way and getting our mind wrapped around not just our ability, but like what's out there and the network that we're now a part of that we can lean on. And I'll come back to that because that's the big
Mhm.
thing is like our our network within our group is really really what has helped us soar.
Yeah.
So after about a year, I would say we saw little growth because we were more kind of into like wanting to own our own properties than we were co-hosting. So I know co-hosting is kind of like they always talk about different pots of money. Like that's the now fast money. Whereas I've we've come up with like building that long-term side. So
Mhm.
you're not getting much up front, you're getting it more on the back end. So we kind of struggled with that a little bit of trying to get like, well, I don't really want to co-host. That's not what I want to do. I want to own our own properties. Um, and then it turned into the boardroom where it was like the I don't know. It kind of got in a little deeper with like the mindset, and that's really where our
Mm.
mind shifted. And we had the ability to talk with E and Mike one on one, and anytime we had any kind of issues or problems, like if you just lean on that network, the amount of knowledge and people there that's wanting to help you, like everybody in our group, STR Secrets, the boardroom, the hotel secrets, like we want to see everybody succeed. Like
Yep.
that's why we're all here. And so anytime you start getting down, you start second guessing things because I had recently been doing that as well. It's like I just lean on the group and the amount of love and support that just like picks you up. It just makes it all worth it. So like I'm sitting here
Yeah.
thinking about leaving my job. I'm second guessing things. I'm talking to people in Nashville to even now like Tristan Hunt. He's like, hey man, here's my number. I've been where you're at. I'm going to be your accountability partner to help you get where you need to. And having that, it's amazing. It really is a great group.
Yeah, I love that, and we hear the saying all the time. Your net worth is truly your network is your net worth, and you got to find your tribe. So whoever that is, if you can get around a bunch of like-minded people who are doing things that you want to do or doing the same thing as you, you can bounce ideas off of each other. Like you said, they can be accountability partners. They can be there to mentor and collaborate with you. And I think that's truly how we grow as groups and also as individuals. And I want to pivot to something not as lighthearted. We found out a few weeks ago you had a hotel that you found. The owners were open. You came back with even more good news that the owners were open to 100% seller financing, which is
Ooh.
like a gem in this world. And then, as of recent, we heard some bad news that the seller somehow backed out. So I would love to hear kind of from your side, the highs, the lows, kind of touch on where you are in that process and moving forward, what your plan is with this deal.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a hotel local to us. And it was kind of one where we kind of always thought about it. Like we never thought just to go after them. But it was kind of one of those, if we ever saw it for sale, we were going to jump on it. And
Mhm.
we had someone reach out to us about the hotel. It was back in like June. So we've been working this process for a while. Um, it was like we would ask a question and it would take them a week to respond. So anytime
Mhm.
any little piece of information transferred, it was taking a week to get it back. So eventually we got into a one-on-one sit down. We're going to hash this out. We're not leaving until we do. So we got the price figured out. We had given them multiple offers because I always like to give a minimum of 3 offers. Usually it's going to be a traditional bank finance. Then it'll be a hybrid where, 20-25% seller carry, and then an owner finance. And typically with owner finance, we can pay a little bit more because we're getting favorable terms on our behalf, and we're not having to deal with the bank. So long story short, after she had kind of interviewed us, went to our banker even kind of just to see if we have the ability to do it. And our banker was like, if anyone's going to be able to do this and we were going to be involved, it would be the Harrises. So we had a strong backing from our banker, which if you can build a good, solid relationship with a local banker, man, that goes a long way. So everything was moving forward. We had got to a point to where they had said, hey, we're going to do a full owner finance, but we want 30% down. And we were like, okay, we can manage that. And at
More
the
than we
time,
wanted, but yeah, if that's what it takes,
right,
let's go.
I wanted a little, not quite to put out that much cash lay, but that's okay.
Yep.
So with that, we were working on terms. And some of the terms that I had thrown out, she was like, I agree with this. I agree with this. I want to, like, she was good on the rate. She was good on the term length. And then she was like, but I don't know about, she wanted some more earnest money, and she wanted, there was something else she was wanted. Oh, I was asking for like a time period of no payments. And she was wanting to really tighten that down, whereas I was wanting to pull it out as long as I could to kind of help with the stabilization of the property.
Of course.
So then we were in San Francisco, and towards the end of that trip, because we were there for our Airbnb headquarters, we get a text like, hey, I'm sorry, we're not interested anymore. And it was like a gut punch.
Yeah, that's devastating.
Here I am thinking our dream property that I have spent months with trying to get to where we were at up in Venice. And I was like, no. So ultimately, at the end of the day, I think it turned out to be like a timing issue. So my plan going forward is I'm still looking for other hotels. I'm still looking for other properties. But I'm going to kind of keep reaching out to her like once a month, once every 2 months, just kind of say like, hey, we're still here. What can we do to make it more comfortable for you? How can we help? Because it's all about helping somebody. If I can,
Sure.
if I can know what their true need is, maybe I can work something around that to where they can be part of it as well. Gives them what they want, makes them feel happy, and then we get the ultimate property that we want. So.
Man, it's a great mindset. It's tough in the moment, when you hear the no's or get the rejections. But I think of Carol Dweck out of Stanford wrote a book on the idea of growth mindset, and one of the like enduring lessons there for me, at least, one of my takeaways was like not yet. And it's that yet piece that's so crucial, right? Just because you get a no today doesn't mean it's a no forever.
Absolutely.
And again, if we can kind of hang our hat on, again. This is my first time going after a hotel. This is my first time kind of offering terms like this. This is my first time trying to like talk, one-on-one with a woman who's ready to retire. And this is her pension. This was her plan.
Right.
And so I bet you, again, if we put that in the deal analyzer, or, we kind of did the post-mortem on that, the after action review in the military, right? It's like what worked, what didn't work, what can we learn? So every single day you're becoming a stronger, better investor. And I got to believe that there's a part 2 to this story. I don't know. There's just something energetically about, because you guys were, and maybe that's the question. What was so magnetic about this property? Because I fell in love with the property. I think everyone is probably guilty of that. And there's a real risk, right? Of like getting too emotionally attached when maybe the numbers or reality is starting to divorce. But in some ways, we all need to be a little bit delusional, a little bit in love. So I'm curious, what was it about this property that really just got, you and Karen just, heart eyeballs and, ready to do anything to make it work?
Yeah, so it was definitely that. I try not to get emotionally attached to deals. Sometimes it happens, like you said. Sometimes I also feel like the deal might not be the best. But in that moment, if that deal, even though it's not a home run, gets me into that space, then I can learn it and grow from it. So this one really appealed to us. It was it's an old historic building, 36 key hotel, in the heart of a bustling college town, and it's local to us. So I mean, I can literally be there in 20 minutes. Um, so we started gathering up like a grand vision of this place, and we kind of already had even before we knew we were having the ability, the possibility to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, we just there was so much to this because, like I said, it's an old main street that has character. The area has character. The area is growing, and it was just one of those like this is and it's in our backyard. So I mean
Yeah.
that helped a lot because initially we were looking at one up in North Arkansas, which ended up
Mm-hmm.
falling through as well. We couldn't come to terms on it. Um, I was really smitten on that one, like really smitten. The numbers did not work, and I did not care. I was getting it.
This is the one I want. It doesn't
So yeah,
matter.
so thankfully that one didn't work out. I went there, took a whole bunch of pictures. So every now and then I'll scroll through my phone and see the pictures, and I'm like, golly. But I mean, it's for the best. So like that one
Yeah.
fell through because this one was going to be available. So this one fell through because why? There's
Yeah.
something bigger and better coming for us. Maybe we're
Yeah.
thinking too small with this one. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point. And like Adam said, it's not a no, it's just not yet, because maybe both of those properties become available to you at a better price that makes it an even more savory or juicy deal. But with that being said, I guess a two-part question is, what does entrepreneurship look like for Vinny? Do you want to get just one hotel and stop? Do you want 10 hotels at the end of the day? And what's your next step, being that, you have a seller who's maybe not as motivated as we initially thought, and while we may need to follow up, maybe we start looking for other hotels. So what's the plan and what's the long-term vision for Vinny?
yeah, so I kind of struggle with that too because like I see a lot of people on Instagram, where it's like it's never enough. Entrepreneurship's
For
never enough.
sure.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I have a number that maybe I could get to, and then I'm set. But then
Yeah.
the other side of me is also like it's kind of a game, like Monopoly. Like, what pieces can I move around to get
Yep.
to even bigger? It's like our long-term
Yeah.
stuff. So we're
Yeah.
selling off some of our properties to reposition, to be available to buy a hotel. Um, so I really feel like I'm going to keep going and not stopping until something greater makes me stop,
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, entrepreneur me, I want to build my systems better. I want to get more properties, both co-hosting and commercial property. I still want to build a long-term game just because I feel like I need that. It's just kind of more of the chess move players, right?
Yeah.
Hotel side, I want multiple hotels. Like
Mm-hmm.
I want one semi-local that I can learn with and grow with and make better, and then just expand. Like just keep getting bigger. And if that means I build one, sell it, roll into the next, I'm all
Mm-hmm.
for that too. So I'm not going to sit back. I definitely have a drive. I have a vision of where I want to be. When things fall into place, I don't know when that is, but as long as I keep that vision and moving forward, it's going to happen. And even with this
For
hotel
sure.
right now, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not over. I'm going to own it. It's mine.
Ooh, I love that.
Yep.
Let me ask about one of my favorite activities and one of the first exercises I did at STR Secrets or Boutique Hotel Secrets, which Mike Sjogren and I think E kind of recommend for most students, which is your perfect week,
hmm
right? And not to write your week as it exists today, but to write up your week as if what would it look like if 2 years, 3 years, 5 years in the future, if I could design a perfect life. And I know you're a pilot yourself, so I'm imagining there's some aviation in there. I don't know if there's golf or whatever, but like, look, you're 2 days away from being able to design as many perfect weeks as you can. We know hotels are on your bingo card and you're going to spend some time there, but how, I don't know. I just love to learn a little bit more about what your perfect week looks like and how close do you feel like, you are to maybe making that a reality.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good because like the more I start thinking about it, now that I have the time freedom from my job, once I kind of figure out how my days are going to be structured, because that's
Mhm.
something completely new for me now too as well. Um, I I feel like I'm moving towards that perfect week, like just that time freedom. That was always our big thing for Karen and I to be able. I don't know if we want to wake up and do absolutely nothing in a day. That's okay. We can,
Also
right?
good.
So if we went like the other day, it was Saturday. The weather was nice, and we had heard of this nice pizza place. Uh, as the crow flies, it was 100 miles. Well, guess what? We have an airplane, so in 40 minutes we're there trying. Or it's
It's
a two and a
amazing.
half hour drive if if you drove there. So I think our perfect day. Karen and I both went through this exercise, and we were pretty close. But it's basically spending time together, spending time with our we don't have kids, so it's our fur babies. Um, Playing golf, so we were taking lessons for a while, flying down to the beach for the day, going out to dinner, dressing up nice. Like I love to dress up nice, and I don't do it often, and I feel
Mm,
it's uncomfortable to me. But I want to be able to just dress up, be good at this nice meal, um,
yeah.
drop a good bit of coin, be opulent with the server, help them out, make them have a nice night, um,
Yeah.
and just have that freedom, and then know that we've built something that's able to keep up our lifestyle. I would
Yeah.
say having that clarity that they speak about, like pinpoint exactly what it is what you want. I'm still kind of narrow visioned on that because I don't know what I don't know yet.
Hmm.
And I look at other people like, okay, I can kind of take a little bit from the A-list people. I can, take a little bit from humble, being humble and trying to mix all that together and just kind of make who we are. So I think getting out of the W-2 and positioning the things that we've had is slowly moving us to that time.
Yeah, I love that. That's that's a lot. Big gems to take in right there, especially for our listeners. Probably the last thing I want to ask is, what would you tell, or what advice would you give to an inspiring entrepreneur, an inspiring hotel owner? You've put yourself in a very good position where you can now step away from your W-2 job. So, even for people who are listening that may not be interested per se in hotels, but do want to quit their W-2 and kind of go entrepreneur full time, what type of advice, or what would you say to them?
I would say the main thing, because I was guilty on it for the longest time, believe in yourself and take action. Like
Mm,
me personally, I have talked about, oh, I'm going to quit my job one day and I'm going to do this and that, but I never took the steps that it really took to get there. And now that I have, it's still hard for me, but it's just following through with it. It's having that support base, build that support base underneath you to help you to strive for your goals. Like we're all here for the same goal. I mean, we want to have that life that we want to live. We want to have our hotels. We want to have our properties. So it's just surround yourself with like-minded people. Get in those rooms where you're the small guy. I think that's
mm,
the big thing. Like you don't want to be in the room and be the smartest person. Like you don't. I want to be so far down the chain to where everyone looks at me like, what is he doing in here? But
Yeah.
those are the types of people that build you up to bring you to where they are.
yeah.
So it's definitely have a good mindset, stick true to yourself, take action, and build that support team, and everything else will fall into place.
Love that. Love that. Well,
That's
thanks
awesome.
again for hopping on this pod and giving
Yeah,
us
absolutely.
really good words of advice and wisdom. I think your story is really remarkable, and it feels like you're just getting started, and you have so much to contribute already. So, Adam, did you want to follow up with anything?
I mean, look, it's an awesome story. I do want to ask one tactical thing because I got a dinner coming.
Lost you.
It looks like Adam
There
is
we go.
having technical difficulties, but it sounds like we probably will see each other again. We got an event in Boston. Will you be at the event in Boston in November?
No, we were just up there for a boardroom, so we're not going to make it back up there
Yeah,
for this one. But we will definitely meet up. We have to, for sure.
yeah. I love that. Did you want to add anything, Adam?
Oh, yeah. Before my internet just dropped, I think I kicked the wire or something. I was going to ask,
Nice.
hey, the last thing you mentioned feeling good and liking dressing up, and I don't know if other people are struggling with this, but after COVID hit, like I'm good in a hoodie all day and very comfortable clothes. So I'm actually throwing an event like with a private chef this next Friday, like 12, 14 friends getting together. Again, trying to kind of live my best life. I'm really looking forward to it, but I was just going to show up in, I don't know, regular clothes. So I guess my last question is like, sell me on why I should dress up. Like what's the dream? What do you feel like when you dress up and kind of give that next level effort?
Yeah. So when there's just like, there's just that feeling I get. Like it's hard to
Mm.
explain. It's one of like where I feel confident. I feel like I'm stepping out and I'm being noticed. And not that I need any of that, but just it just brings that awareness to myself. And and it's like I take time to take care of myself and getting to go out and look dressed up nice. And
Mm.
yeah, there's just something about it that kind of like makes me want to do that more. Like I would love to wear a suit everywhere I go. It's uncomfortable, but when I have a suit on, I just feel good.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
I like
amazing.
that.
I
It's
was
hard
just
to explain.
He's telling you to get a tuxedo, Adam.
apparently. It's funny because last night on Netflix, Micah and I are both reading Unreasonable Hospitality, and Will Guidara and Danny Meyer, and there's some legends in the hospitality space. I remember watching this Netflix special called 7 Days Out, and they chronicled the reopening of like the number one restaurant in the world. They won the best restaurant in the world, and then 7 months later they closed down for 4 months to renovate the property. And at one point, the head chef, I think it's Daniel Hume, so legendary chef, he told his kitchen before they opened that everyone needed to shave and that facial hair. Again, he's like, "Can you cook better or worse with facial hair?" I don't know, but but it's the small details. And again, it shows me that you're paying attention, you're being intentional, you're taking care of yourself, and again, just putting yourself in that mind space of confidence and elegance. There's something there. So anyways, all that to say, I know we were supposed to end a couple minutes ago, but I had to ask selfishly for myself. I think you're inspiring me to at least put on a blazer, maybe not a full
Yeah,
tuxedo.
yeah, I would.
Tuxedo with the penguin tips.
Okay. I like it.
I
I
bet
like
I
it.
bet you'll feel good wearing it.
I love it. I love it. Well, anyways, dude, congratulations. Good luck. I mean, 2 days away from Freedom Award. So another Freedom Award in the STR Secrets, Boutique Hotel Secrets, and Boardroom. I mean, it feels like every week someone else is living the dream. So again, if you're listening to this and you're considering a jump like this, get around this community, DM us, reach out. This is an extremely supportive group. We're here to help people succeed. And again, Vinny, you're an inspiration, man. So congratulations on everything
Thank you.
you've achieved. And I know the best is yet to come, man. So thanks again for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Really.
Amazing. All right. And with that, that's the pod.